Boop, boop. Oh, I should open up IRC actually. Let me open up IRC. Server. What is the Libera? Is it irc.libera.chat? I don't remember. Let me check my audio. Yeah. I never remember because my muscle memory is still attuned to Freenode. Or do I do connect? irc.libera.chat, not char. Okay, it is. Let's see. We will do join Lucidity. And we'll just keep this in the corner. That will be our chat. I also have the stream chat, but we'll see if anyone talks. So hello there. It is getting towards the end of the semester. I still have a lot to do at the moment. But I thought that, well, one, I might want to plan what I want to do for a speech for the fall. The week before the semester starts, we do like a professional development week. Professional development week. Development week. Emacs is a little slower while I'm streaming. So in the past, I've given little like 50-minute talks on accessibility. Here, I'll just open this up. On like everything I've read about AI, but this is also from the spring of the like January this year. I read the book Cheating Lessons and some other stuff. I might have pictures of the books in here. And kind of talking about how to hopefully get more student buy-in and ways to design classes so students don't feel like cheating or don't feel like they need to cheat in order to succeed. And then also, like, I read through these books and I gave a talk on those. And then sometimes I do a blog, but not that much. But that's my professional portfolio page. I did virtual pets this time for my students, but I like started them with eggs, and then depending on the progress, they'd get like a baby character, and then they'd get like a more adult character, kind of like Digimon or Tamagotchi. But what I'm thinking of for the fall semester, because the survey thingy is open to make a suggestion for, or like say what you want to do. So some other things I've been doing. I had to read this book again. Actually, I need to read it again this weekend because we're finishing it up. But this book I read last semester. I read version 1. Okay, well, it's a book. I read this book last semester. I read version 1, first edition, whatever. Now, other teachers wanted to also read this book, and there's a second edition now. God, all these freaking... Sorry, it's loading, and I have all these windows in my Linux. I think the second edition is like a gray color. Honestly, I'm tired, and now I own copies of this book twice, which is terrible. I'll ramble about it here in a second, but let me just go ahead and post on Mastodon. Rambling, let's just say, rambling about AI, thinking about professional development talks. Here, you can look at this cow picture while I do this. On software is political. Thinking of summer project goals. Question mark. Profit. I don't know. So we'll have that up. We'll see. And then I also have a K of mud around as well, but I'm not gonna like leave that on the screen because people could be weird. So we'll just kind of throw this in the corner. Hello. Anyway, so I read this and it's bad. And then other teachers wanted to also read this book, and there's a second edition. And so I was like, look, y'all not reading this without me, because I need to be the one who's um, fact checking things. Because, like, I've read multiple books about AI. I've read, like, Empire of AI, the AI Con. I keep up with news. I keep up with YouTube videos. I've gone to conferences, like specifically like information security conferences that then talk about AI and stuff. Um, Unfortunately, I seem to engage with the content a lot, but kind of from a like, this is my hobby because I hate it point of view. So the book is bad. My impression of the book is that they just wanted to profit off of being having the keywords teaching and AI and be like the first to market with those keywords. So they like put out this freaking terrible book. Also, do not understand the concepts between machine learning versus like a large language model. Actually, let's just start with my rants on it. So let me open up my notes because the way I do this. Oh, this also brings up another thing. I went through Anthropic's AI literacy course because one of the other teachers said everyone should go through the Anthropic AI literacy course. Um, so I did. I was like, bet. And anytime I go through these things, I keep a detailed list of notes on my thoughts on it. I'm just looking for my notes right now. It's under my reading notes. Let's just talk about all of this. Let's just go through it. So, I wonder if I can download this as a Word file, because I don't want to necessarily open it in my work Office 365 thing. We'll download it as PDF. Beep 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 beep. I have Green Day going through my head right now. What is it? What am I thinking? The Enemy song? No, the Minority song? I don't know. I just have some Green Day going through my head. Unfortunately, I cannot play Green Day in the background. Okay, so we're just gonna ramble, I think. So they were like, you need to go through this AI fluency course. Everyone, well, he said like everyone should go through it. And I was like, I'll do it. I will do it. So I have this with my notes on going through that course. Oops. And then I have my notes on teaching with AI, reading through that book, and just all of my critiques. All of my critiques. So we'll go through some of this. Maybe I'll just get this off my chest. But I basically go to these meetings and I'm like, okay, here's what I thought about everything. So I went through this entire thing. This is Anthropic's AI literacy thing. I guess I could probably sign in and go through and like show what it looks like, but whatever. Also, I go by RW at work. So I tried to like kind of summarize the bullet points they have and then just add on to it. So like it's so full of just logical conflicts. What am I thinking of? What's the word I need? Um I'll think of the word later. I just woke up a little bit ago. So they try okay. Now I'm thinking about they really like their alliteration. So a lot of their slides go over alliteration like automation, augmentation, and agency. Um, so I don't know. But my notes here are I don't trust a probabilistic bot to complete any sort of task for me. I don't trust the output it gives. I don't want to use it as a soundboard to brainstorm with. That's what the humans on Mastodon are for. um, sorry, people in IKEA are talking. He says that you could power a dynamically interactive character in a game. Why would I design a video game that could go off the rails that you don't have creative control over, and also with a like there's just the security risk. Everyone's gonna try to jailbreak everything. Like you put an AI bot in the game, people are gonna like try to have it do terrible things or say terrible things. And it's like, here's what understanding the goal you're and problem you're trying to solve. Know what AI systems can and can't do well. Decide how to divide the work between you and the AI. Um, like I wrote that the presentation and the text summary feels very surface level and repetitive. Probably AI generated. Not worth much value. The videos feel more like marketing videos than actual educational videos. Um, let's see, I think they put, think about a research project you're working on. You might decide to have your AI assistant review lengthy documents and data, and then engage in thoughtful discussion about the implications and findings, but reserve the critical analysis and final conclusions for yourself. I put, I would not trust that I would glean all of the information or the correct information were I to delegate the looking at documents and data to an AI bot. It would be best for me to invest that time to do that work myself and keep my notes and synthesizing stuff on my own projects. Uh, how do you want the AI to approach the task? I don't want to verbally program a bot in English every time I need a task done. That's what programming is for. Why would I rely on software that gives incorrect and unuseful results to do things like look through data for my research project? How is this a useful tool? You have to like it also this literacy course very much puts the onus on you to make sure it's behaving correctly, giving the correct output. Why do I want a tool that doesn't I can't trust it to do a job? Um, Most of our interactions with AI involve small loops of descriptions and discernment, describing what we need, evaluating what we get, refining our request, and so on. Or I could use my brain. I could just generate the ideas in my brain. I could create drafts and then revise those drafts, which is what my intention here is for coming up with my topic of software is political. And I'm jumping around a lot because this came up from reading the Teaching with AI book during a discussion, and someone was like, "It's just software," and I'm like, "Software is political." um, and with that, like, I teach my students about like deadly bugs, design, bias. I just feel like I need to teach everyone literacy on stuff, how tech companies use psychology to exploit you, pitfalls of proprietary workflow, or like at the mercy of it. At the mercy. Okay, yeah. So my goal, and I really don't need this for another few months, but if I knock it out now, I won't have to write it the week before when I remember that I need to get it done. Or at least I'll have some stuff done. But anyway, so let's go through. I, I'm here on my notes. These notes. When making important decisions with AI assistants, how are you verifying the accuracy of the information presented to you? Or you could find the accurate information and synthesize from there instead of working backwards. Have you considered how to be transparent about the involvement of AI? Have you considered? Have you considered it? Is the considering the ethical step? What is the ethical result? Or do we just consider it? This has also been a talking point for people of like, do I need to be transparent about my use of AI? And it's like, but then you want your students to not use AI. And admittedly, like the student is not the expert, and like the teacher is supposed to be the expert and reviewing any of the content that goes through that they put in the course. I think transparency is very important. But some people don't want to be transparent about if they use AI. Maybe because they'll be judged. Maybe that says something. Are you willing to be accountable for the AI assisted work you have done? No, I am not. So then it also goes into like, that's what we're reading right now. What is generative AI? I have so many problems with this little course thing. Generative AI refers to artificial intelligence systems that can create new content rather than just analyzing existing data. But to generate quote, 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 new data, quote, quote, it must be trained on existing data. An LLM cannot generate quote, unquote, new data without training a training data set. Like if you had no data it trained on, it just wouldn't do anything. They're called language models because they're trained to predict and generate human language, and large because they contain billions of parameters, mathematical values that determine how you model process information, somewhat like synaptic connections in your brain. These parameters are probabilistic weights between tokens along many dimensions. It is not processing information like a brain. So I don't like that their course compares what we're doing to how a brain works. 3 pillars that made it possible: algorithms, neural networks, transformers, data, articles and websites, code and multimodal content, computation, GPUs, TPUs, etc., computing clusters, scaling laws, compute and data go up, model intelligence go up. Now someone in... Oh, my dad in the game is talking about we're gonna plan a festival, so read news, Hashan 11616. What was our last festival long ago? Yeah, I know, this is my ADHD brain. Festival, we have opening ceremony, ritual, dueling. I mean, Melania would like to ritually duel, I think. Arboretum tour. It shouldn't take long. The Arboretum's quite small. Lecture on Lab's Arcane Crystal. Quiz on Terminus by Lizelle. Regular tours of the lab. Well, I don't know about that. That seems... The lab is our spot. Don't let people in our lab. Okay. The combination of these 3 factors led to an important discovery known as the scaling laws. These empirical findings show that as models grew larger and trained on more data with more computing power, their performance improved in predictable ways. More surprisingly, researchers found that entirely new capabilities began to emerge as these models grew larger, abilities no one explicitly programmed, like reasoning through problems step by step or adapting to new tasks with minimal instruction. Did it though? Very magical thinking. Hey, let me honestly, I'm congested because I just woke up, so I need to go blow my nose, but I'll be back really fast. Be right back in 30 seconds. I don't know, like 1 minute. I guess on my screen overlay, I should probably put um, the text for how to join the IRC chat, if anyone wants. Where's text? Text, IRC. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, also, this is where it starts kind of getting into the oh, it's magical. We're trying to work towards the general intelligence stuff. It'll be our god, is kind of my impression of this section. During initial training, also called pre-training, LLMs like Claude analyze patterns across billions of text examples. Imagine reading every website and piece of text you can find, not just to absorb information, but to understand the statistical relationships between words, phrases, and concepts. I'm currently cleaning my glasses. Just a moment. I can't read without my glasses. The letter is the only thing this training data does. The statistical relationships between tokens. Training does not make the AI read every website and piece of text to absorb information. At this stage, the model essentially builds something like a complex map of language and knowledge. This pre-training process involves showing the model text and asking it to predict what comes next. Through many iterations, the model gradually refines its predictions, learning the patterns that make the language coherent and meaningful. It's trained on what grammatically correct text looks like and not what any of it means. So, patterns that make the language coherent, meaningful, is debatable. After pre-training, models must undergo additional training in called fine-tuning, where they learn to follow instructions, provide helpful responses, and importantly, avoid generating harmful content. This often involves human feedback to improve the model's performance, as well as reinforcement learning, which uses patterns and penalties to shape the model's behavior towards being more helpful, honest, and harmless in the case of Anthropic's models. In order to do this, we employ and underpay people in the global south, and even now here in the States, to review and rate content generated by the AI, exposing these people to terrible content to have them manually marked as harmful so we don't have to see it. Or, I also just watched a video about people who do this work here in the States. It was like a pretty recent video. And basically in attempts to get more like domain focused responses. Oh my gosh, my YouTube is slow. But saying like, oh, we need PhD level knowledge, quote unquote knowledge from the AI. So we're hiring these grad students or professionals or whatever to work for like no fucking money. Or maybe good money at first and then bad money later. I'm waiting for all this stuff to load. I watch too many videos about video games. Okay, so this is what I've watched. We're not going to go through it, but in case any of you want to also watch it. I'm trying to pause. Track down the hidden worker secretly powering ChatGPT. So this has like Karen Howe presenting. So, but so that's all in there. There's so much stuff out there, and I read so much and watch so much and listen to so much, and possibly more than most of my coworkers. Let's see. After pre-training, models undergo additional training called fine-tuning. Oh wait, I already did that. Okay. Anthropic goals of fine-tuning: helpful, honest, and harmless. Again, they like the alliteration a lot. It is not harmless. None of this is harmless. Once models are trained, they are then deployed for you to interact with. When you interact with Claude, you're providing a prompt, which is text that the model reads, And then, sorry, my alarm went off. Reads and then continues from based on patterns. I mistyped that. It learned during training. The model isn't retrieving pre-written answers from a database. Instead, it's generating new text that statistically follows from what you've written. That is what it does. What makes generative AI powerful? Processes vast information during training and learns complex patterns, adapts to new tasks through in-context learning, demonstrates emergent capabilities from scale. As these models grow larger, they develop abilities that weren't explicitly designed into them, sometimes surprising even their creators. So, I mean, when you have tons and tons and tons of data trained over all of the internet and pirated books and whatever else, just like I can't believe people believe in this, the people designing it and stuff. How do you train intelligence on just words? How do you make a reality with just words? And it's not thinking, it's just a lot of data. So, let's see. You And the section was capabilities and limitations. You might be amazed at how versatile modern language models can be. They're skilled with language in ways that seemed impossible just a few years ago, crafting emails that captured your voice, condensing lengthy reports into clear summaries, translating between languages, and explaining complex topics across countless fields from microbiology to marketing strategy. So, translating, I then added links to Wikipedia banning AI generated content, and AI translations are adding hallucinations to Wikipedia articles. um, what's particularly notable is how these models can shift between different tasks without needing additional training. The very same system that helps you write poetry or brainstorm your birthday party ideas for your birthday party, can turn around and help you understand quantum computing concepts or analyze quarterly business trends. So we're going to copy this part. Help you understand these things. I'm just going to put this over here for a minute, and we'll keep that in mind. It keeps coming back. All through simple conversation. Here, let me also talk in Achaia. Someone's giving me tea. um, okay, they want a link. I could speak out of character. Let's see. Is it in this one? No. Did I close my YouTube already? That, or I just have a billion Firefoxes. There we go. Copy. Yeah. I will say, oh, great. A pervy guy just came into our town. I know you can't see any of it, but I'm just like not even paying attention to the conversation, but people are talking. Anyway. Okay, I got distracted again. Achaia did like make a post saying like, "Hey, you guys, stop with generating AI content or using AI to generate shit for your designs and whatever else." I can show that real fast as well. Let me just open up the portal. Open up the game news. Announcements. Oh, fuck it. I need to do this. It's not creative assistance, it's slop. So it's like, hey, been noticing an uptick in obviously AI generated designs, news posts, emotes, and other content across the game. This should be a handwritten and lovingly crafted game. We're going to take a more critical eye. People are becoming very attuned to AI speak and AI tone, and even if it cannot be proven, the low or sterile quality of your writing is likely to result in people just not wanting to interact with you. Yeah, so badoof. I'm distracted. They can continue talking. Okay, so while I'm on my other screen, we have 5 views. Nobody currently viewing, it's fine. It's just mostly to keep me mildly focused. um, oh, great. Okay, well, we'll not talk about IKEA politics right now. Um, what's particularly notable? Okay, so they shift through the different things, and I'm like, I don't want its help to write poetry. I don't want its help to brainstorm birthday party ideas. I mean, even if I go to like Pinterest and look up birthday party ideas, it's all, even if it's human written, it's all freaking slop. It's just SEO slop. Thing is terrible. Um, and I don't trust it to give me correct information about quantum computing, and I am not knowledgeable enough to verify that information is correct. Was it one of the literacy items from previously that we assess its output for usefulness and correctness? I do not trust it to analyze quarterly business reports or crunch any kind of data because it is going to skip over some things and how it might generate or quote unquote hallucinate things that are not there. Also, later on in the course, it talks about like there's the cutoff date from how much it's going to understand, and then it's also like, hey, analyze your quarterly business reports. Well, if you were trying to think of like your marketing strategy or something, wouldn't you want the latest news and trends to be put in there? But if the AI has a cutoff date, it's not going to be able to do that. So it's just like these conflicts of logic in here. Um, oh, oh. Sorry. Doing lots of things is the point of an orgy. What are we talking about over there? People are weird. um, R said he wants to put on a performance, but someone else came by who's through the grapevine been known to be a pervert. So, yeah. AI models are bounded by their training data. LLMs have a knowledge cutoff date based on when they were trained, the point after which they have no innate knowledge of the world. Okay, so they said like right after. Gee, it sure sounds like this would be handy for analyzing quarterly business trends when it cannot compare your business's data to current news and trending culture. Quarterly business trends. The training process doesn't verify every fact in the training data. This means the model can sometimes learn and reproduce inaccuracies that were present in their training data. Yeah, the training process doesn't verify it. Also, it just indiscriminately trains on everything. So besides the human-driven verification process in training, if they even know if something is inaccurate and hopefully don't miss something, I wouldn't even claim that many or most facts are verified. Again, it's scraping large amounts of text and generating a statistical probability of these words being together. So for example, if there's a lot of stuff on the internet about vaccines cause autism, like that's a pattern that gets trained in 1 2 3 1 2 3. It could have a statistical bias towards that, even though there, no fact checking going on. Now, there are things that kind of try to push back on that. It's aggregating everything all together. But yeah. They can also make mistakes when trying to piece together information they've learned. We shouldn't be anthropomorphizing language like learned for models. Also, have it teach you quantum computing, but it could make mistakes. Have it teach you quantum computing, but it could make mistakes. They can also make mistakes when trying to piece together information. This leads to what is often called a hallucination. AI confidently stating something that sounds plausible but is actually incorrect. Unlike search engines that simply retrieve existing documents, LLMs generate responses based on statistical patterns, sometimes producing hallucinations. Is this one of your great, fantastic, emergent features that wasn't explicitly trained in? I mean, no, it wasn't explicitly added to the models as a feature, but the entire way that LLMs are trained and work means that hallucinations are inevitable, a core feature. It's just how it's how it's designed. Imagine a friend who does a story with absolute confidence, only to have the details completely wrong. AI can sometimes be like that. I don't want to rely on tools that are sometimes like that. Why would anyone want to rely on, like, a hammer that occasionally explodes? Or, different things. Another important constraint is the context window we mentioned earlier. As a reminder, that's the amount of information that AI can process at one time. Every LLM has a maximum limit to how much information it can consider during a single interaction. If this limit is exceeded, AI won't be able to remember what falls outside the window, usually on a first-in, first-out basis. This can limit its ability to process large documents or remember conversation. I guess you better pay for the best plan so you don't get the AI with the ADHD. Okay. Furthermore, unlike traditional software that produces identical outputs given the same inputs, LLMs are somewhat unpredictable by default, also known as non-deterministic. Why would I want to rely on something that is not predictable? That's the whole purpose of, like, best practices for software development over decades. We don't want undefined behavior. You shouldn't have undefined behavior. Doing that is bad programming. The variability stems from the nature of how these models generate text. They're making probabilistic decisions about what text should come next based on patterns in their training data and certain settings that the developers can tweak. This creative variability can be great for brainstorming and generating diverse ideas, but requires awareness when consistency or accuracy are critical. But here, teach me quantum physics in a simple conversation. While these models are improving rapidly, they've historically shown limitations with complex reasoning tasks, particularly with mathematical or logical problems requiring multiple steps. Because it's trained on text patterns, it's not like a program just running, like, actually I might just open a terminal. Like, if I open up Python, I could say 2 plus 2 plus outside. That's doing the math. But it's trained on text, and so it's like, how many math books have I consumed that have this specific pattern, so I know 2 plus 2 equals 4, quote unquote, no. I am distracted. I am thinking about things. Anyway, I've been ADHDing all over the place. I had an idea for, I want to make a talk, but then I decided I was told by a coworker to go through the Anthropic AI literacy course, and I was like, yeah, bet. And when I go through these things, I take detailed notes. Good news is that newer reasoning or extended thinking models specifically designed to think step by step are showing strong progress in these areas. Oh good. Strong progress. Coming soon. Everything will work coming soon. That's very much the, that's very much the, argument. Oh, it's only gonna get better. It's like, well, I hope I got that kind of benefit of the doubt for things. I'll release some shitty games and then, like, oh, it's only gonna get better. I mean, come on, you just gotta wait for technology. It's inevitable. My games will get good. While models like Claude can now access external tools, they may still lack access to specific data sources or specialized tools that would be needed for certain tasks. It's like having a brilliant colleague who can't access your computer's internal database. Their ability to help will be limited no matter how smart they are. If a model doesn't have access to a piece of data or a tool that is needed to answer a question, then it should not come as a surprise that it won't be able to help answer your question. So let us tap into your company's data. Oh yeah, or like Final Fantasy 14, which I mean they did, but they invested in it. It wasn't just like a yeah. Not every game though. And if we took the blanket model where we're saying AI is just going to get better and we're just saying blanket AI, it's like video games are just going to get better. Even like even big rigs over the road racing. um Researchers are working to address current limitations through techniques like retrieval augmentation, augmented generation, which connects models to external knowledge and data sources, as well as expanding their ability to use tools and improving their reasoning capabilities. What isn't being stated here for the layperson is that using tools just means spinning up a different program. So if I wrote a program that was like, or I don't know, let's say ping, I can run the program or the AI can run the program. Which is better? It's like, I'll just ask my command line chatbot, hey, how fast does it take packets to hit Yahoo and return? And then it will spin that up. And instead of just writing ping yahoo.com, I had to write a freaking English sentence. And then also I can directly compare the output. It might not give me the direct output. Let's see, who's also talking. We still got the pervert in town. I don't know what they're talking about. Um, oh, he's about to leave. A novice needs help. Okay. Um, let's see. Problem awareness. What does success look like? Platform awareness, task delegation. To use this tool, there's a whole lot of caveats on like, yeah, the pervert in town. He just left. You know who the pervert is. Oh wait, no, he's here. He's like, wait, no, actually I can help the newbie from where I'm at. I'm gonna continue being here. Um uh, Specifically it's a pervert from another town in Achaia. Not in Hashan. There's probably perverts in Hashan. They're less explicit, maybe, about it. I don't know. Um Cyrene is the town of imperialism and perverts. And then Hashan, we're much classier, usually, kind of. We do have someone who floods the poetry board. I just feel like when I look at the other people, look, you're gonna have to talk to the Seneschal about loitering. I mean, I sit in the crossroads all the time. I don't know if there's a rule against loitering, but yeah, like if I look at the list, I'm like, our treasure, or what is it, keeper of the coin. I'm like, I haven't heard anything perverted from him, or um, our gosh, what is our roles? Let's do help Hashan. I look at like, oh, our treasurer. I haven't heard anything perverted from our treasurer. Oh, our librarian. I haven't heard anything perverted from our librarian. I mean, one of our regents jokes with you a lot, but otherwise doesn't seem to be that perverted. Um, yeah, Ida is the least perverted person to exist. Here, let's publicly discuss how perverted everyone is in our town. Uh, I haven't seen any instances of perversion. Only jokes when we joke with him. Doesn't seem perverted at all. More concerned with poetry and being cool. Haven't heard anything perverted from her, but she's also married to Fendo, so like they say cute things about each other sometimes. Um, Again, haven't heard anything. Soberkit talked to me in dad voice when I was arguing with someone else. not a pervert. Just like, be, you stop, you children. Stop arguing in town. You make us look bad. Uh, Not a pervert, not a pervert, not a pervert. I've never heard him say anything perverted, but it sounds like you and him banter a lot, and not a pervert. Now, if we do help Cyrene, I also don't know a lot of these people. I've heard, was it Elmer? I don't know. I've heard some things about some people, or if we look at just everyone, but I'm not gonna like publicly shit on people. Okay. Um, used to be. Well, I haven't seen him be weird at all, and he's also just not around that much. Wait, you said which one of you fuckers in the game? Is there a spy around? What's going on? Oh, did my dad cast an illusion? Oh, a shadowy figure circles Alania, taking inventory of her possessions. Oh, is that what shows up when a serpent like tries to what is the word? To case you? I didn't know it'd be so visible like that. A shadowy figure just encircles you, taking inventory of your possessions. That's like really blatant. Okay. Did I mention that I've been formally diagnosed with ADHD as of 2024? By the way. So we'll close that. And I'll just move this over here for a bit. The landscape moves quickly. The best approach is hands-on. Experiment with different AI systems as often as you can and develop your own insights based on personal experience. Who needs an expert to figure things out and report on it? Instead, how about you pay for a bunch of products as often as you can, so that we can blame you on not having enough personal experience or insights if the product doesn't work properly. Clearly, you didn't try out enough products. Ask yourself, which specific parts of your workflow would benefit from automation? Or where would an augmentation approach create more value than either working alone or fully automating? We love proper diagnoses. I was hoping I can kind of adjust this a little bit more. Please do the mental work of coming up with reasons for you to use our product. We're not actually going to present the product and its uses. We'll just vaguely suggest things you could do with it, like plan your birthday party. I want this for my corporation. I want this to replace my employees. Let's get at automating something properly, code made by humans. And you can predict it. I mean, there's still a lot of buggy code, but if jobs let us have time to fix code and maintain it, we wouldn't be in have the issue of shitty freaking code, and it's only gonna get worse. Let's see. The quality of AI outputs often depend on how clearly you describe what you want. It's like the difference between asking someone to make dinner versus providing a detailed recipe with ingredients and cooking instructions. So it's like I can't just offload, please make dinner to my husband and expect the task to be done. I have to do the extra work of mental preparation and planning for what needs to get done for that dinner. Yeah, usually he'll just pick up a pizza. Also, just more arguments that imply, if it's not doing what you want it to, then you're using the software wrong. Yeah. How can be more important than what? You might provide general guidance like manual step-by-step instructions like a cookbook or even a demonstration through examples. I expect manuals to be detailed documentation but not general guidance. If I'm writing out step-by-step instructions on or doing examples, why don't I just do the work myself or delegate it to another human? Also, have you seen how bad people are at writing documentation and step-by-step processes? You need to explain how you want the AI to behave to get the best results. I don't want to talk to my software. I want to talk to humans. Yeah, the old coding, like how to make a PB&J. It's like, get the peanut butter. Okay, we have to grab the peanut butter, put your other hand on top of the lid, turn the lid clockwise? I don't know for sure. Pull lid off, get butter knife, put knife in peanut butter. Provide context. Vague. Tell me about climate change. Specific. Explain 3 major impacts of climate change on agriculture in tropical regions. Most specific. Okay, so this was also in here, an example of what good examples look like. So we're wanting to translate technical jargon to like plain everyday people talk. Original documentation. The quantum algorithm exhibits quadratic speedup. Plain text version, what we're expecting as the example for what AI should give us. The new method solves problems roughly twice as fast as previous methods. Oh, I have, everything open at once. Okay, so quadratic speedup. Well, okay, one. If it's a quadratic speedup, I would expect it to be more like a logarithmic curve on its processes. So, because we aren't saying the slowness is quadratic, we're saying it's a speed up that's quadratic. Whereas if we have roughly twice as fast, then that's linear and not logarithmic. So let's say we had, this is kind of backwards for me because it's saying quadratic, but if you had 2 and you took that squared, and that'd be 4, and so if you had 2 times 2, that's 4. But if you do 3 squared, that's 9, and if you do 2 times 3, that's 6, and if you do 4 squared, that's 16, but if you do 2 times 4, that's 8. So quadratic and double are not the same fucking thing. Good job on that. I'm glad this is, out here for everyone. Ask the AI to think first. Before answering, please think through this problem carefully. Consider different factors involved, potential constraints, and various approaches before recommending the best solution. I love asking my software to work right before I give it a task to do. Please think about the task before you do the task. Ask the AI for help with prompting. Other techniques. Ask for variations. Request different formats. Check Claude's confidence. Ask my software, how confident are you that you did the job right? Reset the conversation. Try from the beginning. Let's start fresh. Just throw out all of the code and continue with it. Discernment. You need domain expertise, an understanding of how AI systems work and their typical shortcomings. Product discernment. Factually accurate, appropriate to audience and purpose, coherent and well-structured. Does it meet my requirements? Does it add value? But yes, ask AI to explain quantum mechanics to you. Yeah, it's like trying to tell your child how to load the dishwasher, or even, I know as a kid I'd always be like, where does this go? I don't know where to put this. Oh, and then also I took a screenshot every time. I was writing this in Word 365 on the web, and so I took screenshots every time it suggested more text for me. And so we get stuff like, scroll out, scroll in. Models can shift between different tasks. Tissable. Countless fields of microbiology stuff. Needing additional. Autism experience. Open the dishwasher. Which part of it? I have a screwdriver. Should I just disassemble it? Crunching tons of human language. Statistical probability of these words being together. Oblum. Fantastic emergent treatist. AI can sometimes be leetly. Be like leetly. LLMs are somewhat unpredictable and ability to help will be limited no matter how smart they are. Utter. Improving their reasoning capabilities. Software or script to where. AI systems as often as you can and develop your own stims. So we want the AI to stim. Maybe that'll get it to focus better if it actually is stimming. We're like, hey, Claude, solve this thing, but make sure like you're also waving your hands around at the same time. Do you have a fidget spinner? I have a fidget. I have a fidget toy right here. Fully automating tomated to think such as having a brilliant colleague, computer. So, yep, that was that. This is my citation, whatever, citation management system. And then I had also opened another PDF, if I can even, oh, I opened it as a doc file. Yeah. No, yeah, I have two fidgets. I don't know where the other one went. I also purchased a thing that teaches you Braille because I have to go sit in graduation, in two graduations, one for my friend's kid, but also for the school. And I'm just going to be sitting in a dark room and I can't do anything, so I'm going to be like learning Braille at the same time. I'm just going to have this thing in my hands because it's so hard to sit still for 2 hours and do nothing. It's like mental torture. But okay. So the other thing I was going to talk about was the teachers wanted to read Teaching with AI second edition, so I've been doing that. I need to finish reading it. We're at like the last stretch of it. But I've also been taking detailed notes as I've gone through, and I also read the first edition, which I also would look up sources when I was reading the first edition, and I'd look at like the actual papers. And then there'd be something like, it feels like this was misrepresented in the book, or hey, this study used Amazon Turks, like people hired for cheap to do the, response surveys and stuff. Oh, maybe. It's the AI bots trying to moderate and check to make sure you're not speaking like you do in Hashan. Oh, you know what would be so funny? Is if I created like a chatbot moderator and then if you cursed, it just talks to you like one of the bots in Hashan that like gets on your case for saying bad words. Only we would only we would understand it, but it'd be funny for me. He uses the internet as an analogy for this advent of AI. Okay, so this is another thing that is a common talking point. Here, let me just also common talking points about AI. We had to adjust to using the internet. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Here, let me look at honors Victor. Oh, nice. The city is a city of sophistication, not obscenity. Oh, is Komos is still there? Okay. So, one, I mean, yes, the internet was developed, like, governmentally. Also very academic, open, user-driven. It wasn't necessarily, like, wasn't forced on everybody within 2 years. Slow adoption. Also had the .com bubble. Like, I don't know if I'd say corporatization. How do I spell words? I don't know. .com bubble. And another common thing people say is, well, photography. People were against photography for art. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I've heard, well, people have taken inspiration from other people for all of history, making copies, but it's not like a one-to-one copy. The technology is here. We have to get used to it now. I mean, yes, LLM technology is here. AI chatbots are marketed badly. And what is the word I'm looking for? They are not what the marketing says they are. Oh, the other thing people say is it's just going to continue getting better. Oh yes, like everything else in the world. Oh, I just cleared my throat right as you cleared your throat. Yes, so will big rigs over the road racing. That's not going to make any sense to my teaching peers. I'm exhausted after walking a whole lot the past 2 weeks. Close that. Why does this not let me resize this properly? That is annoying. I hate user interfaces. Everything is bad. Okay, so let's just assume that a company's product will get better. The Ford Pinto is going to keep getting better. Might as well use the current version so you're prepared for Pinto 2.0 in the future. Banning web-based tools like Wikipedia failed. So we should just, you know, decriminalize murder. I don't know. I mean, but we also contextualize that. Like, Wikipedia failed. But as teachers, we say, look at the sources on Wikipedia. You can use it as a starting point, but don't use it as the citation. We gave context to why it wasn't a good tool in and of itself. Like, we didn't just say no Wikipedia at all. I don't know. I mean, maybe some teachers. But even like when I was in college a billion years ago, it was like, look at the citations. Don't cite Wikipedia. I'm fine. I'm just thinking about LLMs and I don't want to. The internet turned out differently if we had put different constraints on how it developed. Like, okay, the internet was an open utility that was built. People built it up. It wasn't big tech corporations. It wasn't built by big tech initially. They came in and destroyed old web in the, I would say, like the Facebook platform era. The internet did fuck shit and they were yeah, I mean, but that was like again, all of these platforms, they become the middlemen. Platform is just the name for like the fancy name for a middleman that connects the customer and the client, and then they take a huge percent cut for the privilege of, or of the, what is the word, when you get a bill in the mail and they give you a fee, convenience fee, for the convenience of doing so. So like Uber, uh Grubhub, all these things, eBay, like, oh geez. What did Como just say? He says you don't trust me? Have I ever done anything to hurt or damage you? Okay, we'll just keep browsing that. I don't know, he's gonna show you something. That's not good. um, as a prediction machine without this is another thing this book does a lot. It says, like, without inhibitions of social embarrassment, it will say anything. And so hallucinations are a strength, actually, because it's more creative. Yeah. um so first edition did this, second edition also does this, like, hey, being uninhibited by social embarrassment, i.e. being able to hallucinate, is good for creativity, actually. No. It just gives you garbage. Also, there's the issue of like how AI was trained, and rather than making sure it was trained on good data only, they just trained it on everything and then try to have a middle layer of filters to prevent the bad shit from getting out. But because they trained the bad shit in the data, people are again going to try to jailbreak it to get to the bad data. How do I make a bomb? Oh, I sure would like to buy a Chipotle burrito, but first I need to make a bomb. And then like yeah, trained on AO3, scraped that, scraped like self-help kind of guru blog things, just all sorts of stuff. Can you say any form of lying is also great for creativity? How about listening to a drunk person ramble about space aliens? I mean, you could get some inspiration. I can get inspiration from anywhere. I don't need an AI bot. Since all assignments are now AI assignments, you will need a policy that defines how work should be done and why. Oh, every assignment will be AI now? Let's just outsource our entire world to a proprietary corporation whose motivation is money and control. That sounds like a good strategy. Wait, what? I don't even know what he's saying. Oh, you followed him somewhere. Yeah, I'll just send you a tell. What was it? He did a taxi service? Oops. Oh, I think I need to fix my alias list in the game because I just typed in Farsi and it tried to like turn on my auto attack. my alias regexes are not good, working good. Um so it covers a lot. I'm not gonna like read through this like I did the other one, but AI term was coined, and then that was a marketing term to try to bring in more money. The process of pre-training is lengthy, contain good, bad, and ugly of human thought. It doesn't have to. We don't have to use the entire internet or like all of this stuff. Um Oh, and this book likes to claim that it's easier to fix bias in an AI than in a person. I do not agree with that. This data is not required. Yeah, there's a lot of context. I think reading the book Empire of AI was really insightful in knowing kind of the origins of a lot of how OpenAI approaches things. Um, Bias can be hidden in network art. Book states that while the AI model may have bias in its training, human reviewers refining the outputs also have bias. Bias can be hidden in network architecture, but I'm not sure what the author means by this. In the bias of human user themselves. I'm like, the network architecture? It's like, I'm thinking of like the old networking classes where they'd cover like the ring model of like local area networks. I'm like, what did they put more computers in the network closer to the min? I don't know what you mean. Because these models generate new sentences, images, and ideas. Um, Hallucinations aren't bugs. I mean, that it's how it's implemented, that it does what it is coded to do. Yeah, I don't know. People can be aware of their biases and maybe have training or get like other people to read their stuff. I know that doesn't always happen because, you get very monoculture things, especially in jobs. But hey, I built into an application wrapper, slow, medium, fast models. Oh, great. I love to pay for things that are slow. You won't be able to keep track of all the AI lurking in your life. Okay, another argument is, well, you already use Google Maps, so you already use AI. And it's like, well, there's machine learning versus large language models. And that's another thing I'm like constantly having to like explain to people outside of my tech division. Like just to clarify. And people I think are picking up on that because I have heard other people say like machine learning versus like chatbots, but the book also is like it does a lot of where we are used to like our phones recording us at all times, and I just every time it comes up I'm like, we shouldn't be okay with surveillance. We shouldn't just be like, yeah, more surveillance is fine, we're already being surveilled, whatever. um Jobs are bundles of tasks, so every job has some tasks that AI can do better. Citation needed. AI can already produce faster and cheaper patient notes and is better at reading scans. Citation needed. AI will eliminate some jobs, but it's going to change every job. Speculation. Yeah, it's going to make our lives worse because the bosses all like. So, also, another thing I hear a lot in software development in particular, a lot of quotas around how much AI to use. You have to use AI. Without like good use cases. And even like where we're at, it's kind of like figure out how to use AI and teach students how to use AI to be prepared for job. But it's like, but what is the skill? Which tool? Like, it's just this amorphous teach technology? Teach software. I don't know. I could teach them how it works. I don't think there's a whole lot of value in teaching, hey, how can you use a chatbot to do your homework for you? Also fear mongering. Those who can work with AI will replace those who can't. There's also been discussion of like getting rid of some fundamentals in order to like not just more as like a hypothetical of like having heard from professionals telling teachers what to do. And it's like students need the fundamentals and then they can also use AI maybe. And then a person who relies on AI and cannot check the work is a terrible employee. For better, but often for worse, AI are going to be easier to talk to. With that said, real relationships have friction, and that conflict and disagreement are useful. We learn from each other and learn to trust as we overcome difficulty. AI could easily diminish the incentive to interact with an inconsistent, sensitive, or emotional human. My stepdad is a boomer. And I don't talk to him anymore, but my little sister does, who is his biological daughter. And she says that he literally just talks to bots now because they don't get offended at what I have to say. Like, yeah, okay. Cool. Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day today. My mom's dead. And I'm not doing anything for Father's Day. Um so yeah, I linked to like the suicide things. I linked to Eddie Burback's video because I think it can illustrate pretty well about IQ mining things. And then yeah, I linked to some of the academic articles when I was reading through version 1 of this. Wait, where did my IKEA go? Oh, it's right there. When I was reading through this the first time, I did go through and like write a lot of stuff, like look at some of the papers. I have not done that now. That could be some other thing I do, but I feel like that's not gonna, I don't have that as a current project. But just going through and like reading through the papers, making sure that what the book is taking away is actually what's taken away. The book is also saying like AI can do average or C work, but it is consistent C work, and for the novice, average suggestions can be an improvement. And I'm thinking like, do you want your students to learn from the quote-unquote C-level student? Like, that implies a lot of stuff missed. This one right here, I did remember from the first edition where they used Amazon's Mechanical Turks, which are like gig workers online, to review the thing. The participants were hired. It wasn't like an academic thing, and people prefer consolation over a marketing email is kind of what I took away from the paper. But they phrased it as like, even when people were told an email was written by an AI, they still trusted emails concerning a consolation of pet loss more than those about product inquiries. So they make it sound like people are fine with, sorry your pet died, from an AI bot, but here it's like literally, sorry your pet died versus wanna buy a new pet? Wanna buy a new vacuum cleaner? I don't know. So a lot of these are just the quotes from the reading that it cites for me to like look up later if I want. This is another one of the things that I really didn't like. So the book also talks, okay, here. It also talks about, think of how much free time you'll gain back to do whatever you want to. And I just have to remind people that, hey, your pet died. You should buy a new one right away. Forget having emotions. So the book is also talking about like, doctors have so much more free time. Think of all your free time you could have, teachers. I'm like, the computing revolution sped up processes. We don't have a lot of footwork for forms, talking to people to get, again, I'm just thinking mostly forms. If you think of like being on campus and having to go drop a class in person, go register for classes in person, things are more efficient now, but we are not seeing the benefits of it. Instead, the bosses want us to fill our extra time with additional work, and efficiency from AI is going to continue this push. However, There's already a push for people to be more efficient with AI. So people are pushed to do more work, which means they have less time to verify the work generated by AI, which means that everything is garbage. Have you put down how AI will flat out lie and give false data and attempt to make it in a way that seems plausible to get an A-OK from the prompt? Yeah, I mean, this book claims that hallucinations are good for creativity. I really don't like this book. My impression of this book is honestly like they just wanted to get a book out that was AI plus teaching so that they could profit off of it. And then this guy can go do his stupid talks. I don't remember if it's in second edition, but it was in first edition. He claimed that also doing drugs and hallucinating from drugs is good for creativity. Which, I mean, I guess people claim that. I guess people do that, but just comparing like, oh yeah, AI hallucinations are like people doing drugs. It's good for creativity. Great. But here, I'm just going to read this part because I really hate this part. But imagine for a moment that you're meeting with a student in your office. You've talked to this student before, months ago, and you vaguely remember your thoughts about their most recent work. Today, the student wants to discuss a different problem. Now, imagine you have an assistant to organize your student interactions. This assistant remembers every conversation, email, phone, and text and has access to the student's academic records. It reminds you of the key themes in previous conversations, summarizes what you advised last time, presents you with support options, and suggests that you ask how the soccer season is going. Or you can take notes. And if you can't take good paper notes, you can take text notes and then do a search for like common talking points. You know, keep a spreadsheet. I think what we need is just everyone to learn how to use spreadsheets more. Because not everyone uses spreadsheets, and everyone should probably just use spreadsheets. The world already runs on Excel. I don't like Microsoft, but it's like, or you could just be a good teacher. What doctors and society will be able to do with this extra time remains to be seen. And again, I just like literally put this stuff. The AI can summarize your meetings for you. Or you can take notes. But most learning is hard. Would you rather wait on hold for an hour to rebook your flight or talk immediately to an AI you can yell at? Let's not train people to dehumanize service roles. Let's not do that. Human bias, however, is notoriously difficult to fix. AI bias is more easily adjusted. Is it? But Moose having critical thinking skills is hard. Yeah, I know. Spending time working on your workflow and your process is hard, but I don't know. I like to do it. Like the GPS in our phones and cars, we'll need to consider the trade-offs between convenience and privacy. We've all signed away our internet data by not reading the fine print, but we need to ensure that transparency and better protections are part of this revolution. So we're doing this by adopting the big tech LLMs uncritically? But Moose, I want to be angry and not have people not have to have emotional maturity. Wait, you sound like my boomer dad who just talks to AI now because he's literally an asshole. Not literally an asshole. He's literally an unpleasant person. Oh, Yell is sending me messages. Hi, I'm busy. AI can already do many things faster than humans can, and it is especially good at skilled and detailed repetitive jobs. AI can alphabetize, format, scan, summarize, collate, translate, and dramatically increase scales and speed. I'm like, software can do that! We have software. I worked in data entry where it would scan in people's forms and then auto, like, you know, mark it, try to grab all the data out from, like, using OCR, and then we'd do the rest of the data entry. And this was, like, in 2008 or something. But Moose, it's easier to turn my brain off and listen to our government overlords controlling the AI that exists. Yeah, at some point I'm like, okay, so the world that they quote unquote want, I guess like the big tech and government is we here, do I still have that video up? So we just work for the AI bots now. There's like a layer where um instead of here's my employee doing job, here's a job, and you pay them, let's say $40,000 a year. You pay them that salary. So instead of doing that, no more of that. Now it's same person doing the same job, but they're telling the AI the answers because the AI doesn't do it itself. And so someone over here is like, I'm the boss, and now we're paying for tokens, and it's much cheaper. Yay! I've saved all this money. So now we all just have jobs where we answer AI questions, and then someone else is paying for tokens, and we get paid nothing. And then on the side, all we get to watch is like Fruit Love Island. So all we get to watch is like AI slot videos. Um, and then what do we do? Like, we pay subscriptions for whatever we consume or use. And we just live in like a little box or something. Yeah. As one faculty member writes, it's almost as if ChatGPT is fine-tuning my brain to be a better instructor by enabling me to see in intimate detail how students interact with it. So they have like their students interacting with ChatGPT and then maybe they get a report from it. Someone just joined our town named Buppers. Welcome. Would you like to join the Quartz Education Center? It's good for learning things. Oh, didn't like you saying something? Yeah. Here, I'm doing my job now in the game. A newbie came, I believe. I will attempt to document all the things to learn. Clan induct Buppers. Oops, I misspelled that. Buppers. Join our clan. It is my job. Clan CEC tell. Welcome. You can use Clan CEC help to view help files and Clan CEC tell message to send messages. I've done my job. The TLOS clan has documentation on how to kill people. That's the fighting guild class. I do have, let's see. I did put a help scroll for Magi. I did make a Magi combat scroll in CEC. I know people don't know Excel, but we should just, instead of training everyone on chatbots, we should just be like, everyone should use spreadsheets. People don't know Excel. Okay, so surveilling your students, cool, love it. So first problem is trust. Would I trust the AI to make a reservation with my credit card? And certainly some people are doing that now with the, what is it, like the claw, open claw stuff? Just give access to your entire computer. Gosh, okay, chapter 3. This chapter includes multiple programming prompting techniques, but the hardest parts are imagining AI can do more than you think it can and making sure you give it sufficiently literal instructions. You just gotta believe! Prompting is weird. Being polite has no consistent effect, but occasionally offer of chocolate can make a difference. I prefer my software to work without undefined behavior. So I just kind of outlined a lot of the stuff because this was also for a book club, so we meet like once a month to talk about some cluster of chapters. And I need to read the last few chapters today as well for the end of the last meeting, but okay, this was in version 1 and I pointed it out and now it's still in version 2. I pointed it out to my coworkers, not to like the author. It understands context, but since it is also talking to lots of other people at once, it does not yet know the specific context of your request. Which makes it sound like we're all sharing one big Word document in like OneDrive, and you have to make sure you stay on your own page. Like it's you don't have to give it specific context because it's talking to other people. It's not a shared session. Like, what is this saying? Some of the problems with AI making up facts or citations are really problems with the prompt itself. Actually, it's your fault the program didn't work. The product doesn't work. You should have told it to not make up things. Um, Gosh. Okay, and I also have my Zotero. I don't know if this is listed in order that I've put them in. It doesn't look like it. I wonder if I could order it. Because I have some more recent... Oh, that'll be hard. Because after the Claude Code leak, I uh, logged some different threads, just kind of assessing the quality of Claude Code. But, yeah. Chapter 4, Reimagining Creativity. LLMs don't have human inhibition, so they don't care how you might feel about their idea. They're able to go where no human has gone before with ease and even abandon. It's like they synthesize words. Is it like blocking you guys from saying stuff or something? Look, I also blame my VIC 20 often. It simply does not have enough memory. I think I have... No, my Commodore 64 is in my closet over here, but I have my VIC 20 downstairs. Oh, a lot of words get censored. That's weird. I could see... I don't know how fine-grained tools I have on, like, the moderation. I just don't want spam bots to come in. Yeah, here it is. Some artists and creative thinkers have experimented with hallucinatory drugs precisely because they want to try to think the unthinkable. The AI ability to hallucinate might even be a strength in creative endeavors. Students know they only need one good idea for a good paper, but the pressure of getting to one good idea often interferes with the process, which begins with 100 bad ideas. So we should outsource the idea generation process to the bot rather than teaching them how to brainstorm? Science is also about new ideas and new knowledge, since scientists and humans are therefore social beings, and scientific method is also constrained by human confirmation bias and myriad other inherited or learned social or cultural biases. So we just, humans are bad at science, so let's LLMs do it instead. Yeah. Also in the book, and I might have this also quoted somewhere, he does make a caveat. We did not use AI to write this book. We did not use AI to generate the art on the front. And like, oh, so you're telling us about how great AI is, but you didn't use it to write this book. And it talks about protein folding, which is cool, but the discussion of protein folding helping science is true, then they imply that LLMs are good for science. Oh, AI can already design book covers, not ours. Do a voiceover, create summary podcasts of text, write scripts, build credible video ads, and force Johnny Cash to sing Barbie Girl. And I was like, weird to say just forcing someone to do something without their consent, huh? Like, that's a good thing, right? And I have a link to, like, the Coca-Cola ad generation and, like, all of the video clips that had to get generated. Not efficient. You could have just hired an intern. Like, we need cute animals looking at a truck going by. Like, look, if an amateur did a 3D animation for that, or if I did a Flash animation right now to do the Coca-Cola ad, I think the Flash animation... Here, even, like, I used to animate with Flash... and I didn't have a drawing tablet, so I would just use my mouse. So I'm, like, slightly good at drawing with a mouse. Better than maybe most people, but I'm still not great. Plus also vector art is easier to kind of work with. I don't really know what a truck looks like. What does a truck look like? I assure you, if this ad came on TV for Coca-Cola, more people would be like, hell yeah, I will buy this. This appeals to the millennials who were on Newgrounds. So then, we got holidays are coming, holidays are coming. My computer's slow because I'm streaming. Holidays are coming, here's Coke. And then we'll come over here, we'll have, what's our cute animals? Oh my gosh, it's the Coke machine truck. Yay! Oh my gosh. Doesn't this make you want to buy Coca-Cola? I don't drink Coca-Cola. But oh my gosh, it's so cool! So if I had this here, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the Coke! And then the Coke truck is going by. Look, if this was the entire ad, I think that would attract some people. I think some people would love it. I joined because Homestuck. I'm staying because I missed this humor. Oh, but because, yeah, I made the my icon I made a little talkie avatar for like a thing we did. Yeah. Let me open this in the browser so it animates. So I did that for like a talkie icon for a different stream thing. But also since I'm just rambling. Where I have like the little guy here. Let's see. Yes, truck, I'm dying because this is actually really cute. Yeah, I mean, look, millennials will buy stuff that reminds us of Newgrounds, okay? It's easy to imagine AI writing endless streams of Fast and Furious movies or bland but mildly appealing pop hits. Photography have given us both an extraordinary new forms of art and an endless stream of selfies. And then I just point out, like, ah, yes, the sexist trope that selfies do not count as art or expression. Because sexism. And then, effective altruism is a Silicon Valley tech idea that data and technology can be used to determine what is good in the world. No, it's a cult. Here, let me open up another video. Let's do, behind, yeah, BTB. If you want to know about effective altruism, I think this is actually a really good source for it. Listen to the Behind the Bastards 4 episodes on the Zizians, which goes into the quote-unquote rationalists subculture and all of that. Pages 92 to 93 talk about AI model threatening to email someone's wife about their affair in retaliation for being shut down, references Grok calling itself Mecha Hitler. But the authors of the book still continue arguing that adding human inhibitions will make AI less creative, as is the goal is creativity at any price. There are a million ways the expansion of AI could go wrong and increase inequities, take jobs, and damage human lives, but if you watch Netflix, use a spam filter, shop at Amazon, or drive a car, you already are part of the new AI data center economy. So, like, yeah, this is the sort of shit that... What is it up here? Think of it, or it was like, you already use AI. I'm just throwing that in there. You're like, okay. There's machine learning, and then there's large language models, and he doesn't know the difference between the two. AI's energy demand will make climate change worse, but could AI be leveraged to help solve climate change? We actually kind of know maybe how to solve climate change and global hunger. We just don't do it. We're just like, that's not profitable. Online videos count of 60% of global data transfer. Most of us would reduce our carbon footprint much more by eliminating the high definition options in our television streaming or turning off our cameras in a Zoom meeting. Normalize not making people turn on their cameras during Zoom. I don't make my students turn on their cameras. I don't even necessarily like I don't feel the need to make sure that they're paying attention during class because I record the class so they can watch it later because I have ADHD and I didn't know it while I was a student, and that made classes really hard for me. And I've always thought, because I grew up, you know, gosh, I graduated from UMKC in 2009, and I was always like, I wish this teachers would record their lectures so I could go back and reference them. I cannot write my notes fast enough. I cannot type my notes because then I'll get distracted with my ADHD and go surf the web. But yeah, let's just all turn off our cameras. Don't make us turn on our cameras during meetings. Like right now, I have not yet taken a shower, so my hair looks like garbage, and I don't have my camera on. Many of us have already asked AI for career advice, parenting recommendations, medical test interpretations, shopping assistance, workout plans, and more. What story do all of those questions and responses collectively tell about you? What might a bad actor do with this? Minimally, we can anticipate that targeted ads will be far more precise than nuanced, but what can we do? what can we do? It's easy to fall victim to a wrong answer communicated with an authoritarian voice. Expertise is still valuable, but it may be harder to acquire if AI torpedoes the education system that we use to develop. Education is about productive failure, and AI often can lead to its opposite of unproductive success. So it does mention these things in the book, but it's just such a, to use a young person term, or maybe this is out of style now, but just feels like it glazes the AI a lot. Previous technologies. Writing was not proprietary technology of a few massive corporations. So another argument they use is like, when writing was invented, they thought it would be the downfall of society because people wouldn't memorize everything anymore. Amazon, Facebook, OpenAI did not own writing and then license it out to everyone else. Now, like, yeah, the churches kind of like held on to a lot of the literacy stuff and like the Latin language, and then we had like printing press and stuff like that, or, you know, there's histories of passing out little pamphlets with your ideas on it, but writing wasn't like controlled. Well, I guess it also depends on how you define it, but different from big tech stuff. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of useful API research tools. Why would I want any quantity of software built on a house of cards? What about using AI to simulate test subjects or model experiments? That's machine learning! Or just building a mathematical model. That is not LLMs. Like, there's been simulations forever. I mean, not forever, literally, but like, we can use software to model so much stuff, and that's not AI. An AI trained on previous articles in a journal might reject radically new ideas. Humans do this too, but the human bias is harder to fix. Is it harder to fix? Is it harder to fix? Instructions need to be clear and free of bias. An AI told to rank papers or candidates based on specific criteria will generally look at other criteria, like institutional prestige or gender. Do you know that for sure? Do you? Because I have a book. I didn't write the book. I just own a copy of this book or two. Maybe we should go back and read this again. I read it. I read it and I keep reading it sometimes. Just the claim that because it's a computer, it's not biased is just, that's another thing I am like trying to really communicate through like technology literacy for people who are not in the tech field, to give them context for things. Like I've done a couple of town hall Q&A sessions on campus. Oh, Yell wants to spar for renown. Should I just let her here? Let's take a break and spar for renown. I walk to Yell. Oh, nope. I don't know how long ago she said that. Okay, where are you? Walk to the arena. I have been adding more code into my thing. My profiles were getting messed up a lot in Achaea, so I just kind of put, look, there's a goddess statue here. Don't let the goddess know that I'm mocking her on stream. um, what's in here? Here, I'm gonna dust the statue of Lord Twilight. Sure. Oop, tell, yell, sure. We're gonna spar, but just, like, die. And so, we are here. We're gonna be in the arena. I programmed this so it'll show what is in the room, and then I can quick target it if I need it. Let's not accidentally attack anybody, though. Hi. Let me see. Do I have my Starburst Touch, Starburst Tattoo, so I don't die? Okay. I have Starburst. Except yell. Okay. Walk to yell. Who dies first? Because I don't think I've done any of my stuff. Nope. Oh, I guess she murders me first. Okay. We get renowned for being in arena battles and stuff. Wait, did I get renowned for like accepting the challenge? No, whatever. And then I shouldn't need it anymore. I just lose experience all the time. I got rid of my... Yeah, I did. Okay. Walk to yell. Challenge yell to the death. Oh. Yep. Now I kill you! Yeah. That should be fine. So we'll target yell. I have my auto attack. I'm just gonna be very slow. Just do this. Turn off curing. I can assess, yell. Just slowly take away the healths. And then I'll get some renown, which you can then convert into lessons or buy other things. What did I get? I got 150 renown. Whoa, how have I gotten so much renown today? I guess I get renown every so often because I'm a helper of the house. Which house are you going to join? Anyway, so I'll keep that on the side. That was our little intermission. I'll walk back to the center, but look at my code, my outputs. Greet Morneth. Here, let's also talk about the Criminian Academy. Tell Ranger, that's the house I'm in. Happy Face. You can join it. I don't know much about the other house. Though we're having stuff reworked a bit right now, but I am hopeful. Who's here? Not a lot. Who's online in town? Who's online in the world? Yeah, okay. Well, I forgot the name of the NPC that just allows people into the house. And it's me and a lower level person. What is the denizen? What's the denizen that allows someone to join a house? I don't remember which one it is. I should probably document it. Okay. Thank you, guys. It's Certimene. I don't know. Since LLMs are average by design, they are they are easy ways to anticipate typical responses. Oh, but AI is so creative because it just does whatever. I'm not sure. Whoever lets someone join like House Cry or House Song. Okay. One of the best ways to use AI is to search for ideas, something you cannot do without AI. Non-AI tools limit your search to keywords or combinations of words. You are not able to search for ideas without AI. You just can't. You're just not able to do it. It's impossible. AI assisted course preparation. Okay, I'm getting a little burnt out on this and just ranting about that. This one is talking about like, oh, the student needs help, so you might have to like log into a bunch of different systems to find the information you need or to get through it all. And like, that's just having multiple softwares. You could just invest in a better system. Or if we didn't outsource everything and maybe had an internal dev team, maybe. AI listens to your conversations. Doesn't mean we should normalize it. Detecting cheating. Yeah, there's just so much. So yeah, I have read a lot of stuff. What faculty call cheating, business calls progress. This is also what bothers me about like people talking like we have to train our students to be able to use AI in the job market without being able, they don't tell us what skills in particular they want, but also the idea that we should reformat learning around what like a corrupted ass business wants. Or a business that just doesn't perform good. Like, do we want to teach best practices or do we want to teach how to be terrible because a business wants us to? Yeah. So, oh, let's look at this one. AI is going to force us to rethink our assumption about authorship, originality, creativity, and eventually plagiarism. 6 tenets of the post-plagiarism era are hybrid human AI writing will become normal, human creativity is enhanced, language barriers disappear, humans can relinquish control but not responsibility, attribution remains important, historical definitions of plagiarism no longer apply. Human creativity enhanced. Citation needed. How is human creativity enhanced when operating off an average of written works? How does delegating one's thinking and creative process to a piece of software enhance creativity? Language barriers disappear. Once again, I link to the 404 media articles about how Wikipedia has banned AI and that AI translations were adding hallucinations to articles. Humans can relinquish control but not responsibility. Why would you want to relinquish control? Why? Number 5, attribution remains important, but you're not able to like actually attribute the original sources when they're like crunched into the LLM sausage. Historical definitions of plagiarism no longer apply. I think they should still apply. The book also mentioned like, oh, it can help with like reviving local like endangered languages. I'm like, no, without training data, like if there's not enough training data for the thing, it's not gonna be able to magically revive like an endangered language. It depends on how much input there is to do that, and even then it's just like, if there's not enough data, it's just gonna be grammatically incorrect. Here, I need to find something that I wrote, actually. Let's do this real fast, if I can find it. So I wrote a presentation on what should professors know. This links to another project that I did. Okay, so back in 2018, I downloaded an open source like machine learning neural network thing model. And I downloaded a bunch of fairy tales off Project Gutenberg. So if you do not have enough inputs, or if you're only training for like 15 minutes, also did not like download all of the fairy tales off Gutenberg because I was like just downloading some stuff manually. Like, here's what you get if you have 15 minutes of training. Here's what you get with 24 hours. It looks like English. Let me read you this story. They is sleps, said the dud on the floor, purpore to as animerinted, all the having of a oath of one of statting. They crocking the crink, and she was out. So it looks like English at a glance, but 24 hours of training and like a limited data set, not a whole lot. 48 hours looks a little bit better, but still. 7 to great the full of leaving in the mother from them lost in the princess. They whiff over the shoe. After the old wear its shoes dream, but the owners, we had a hopes in his good, could not drive this some other droughtster. Full to the morning he had account and BDing by the Triton. The Hules was unov the treasure, who, the mother exclaimed, I can be more your hiss of so intended, of it demanded, but I am soul which her bays with mestice and dreamful is when you were a fiot. So now, okay, it's still very impressive. Like, training it on a little bit of data in a little bit amount of time gave me something that, I mean, it's still kind of impressive that it made words, right? It visually at a glance looks like a couple of paragraphs. And so if you imagine you're training over the entire internet, you get even more of this appearance of like, oh yeah, the text. It looks like real human people text. But this is like, oh, Rose sent me a text. Oh, my sister sent me a text. Her neighbor's mom also died from breast cancer in 2024 in December and was also 69. Didn't have cancer for 20 years and came back. And her dad's name is John. And her mom's name was Linda, which our mom's middle name was Linda. I met someone at work named Rachel who also lost her mom and grandmom the same year. And mom to cancer. I don't know. We're all losing our people to cancer. We could go elsewhere to talk about houses. Speak Hashari. Okay. Just over on the other side. So, oh yes, also I wrote, let's use colonialism technology to solve problems created by colonialism. Yay. If traditional concerns about plagiarism went away, it would be simpler for teachers. It may also make it easier for us to prepare students for the life that awaits them once they leave our institutions. Let's just throw away something because it's inconvenient. No, not IKEA. I just have this on the side. I'm rambling about AI. Here, I'll link my other game friend person to this thing. What will doctors do with the extra 2 or 3 hours a day? We won't get extra 2 or 3 hours a day. Everyone working less could be great for humanity. That won't happen. A tired populace is a docile one. You know, a lot of people were at home during 2020 and we all got to go out and protest, and everyone was like the people in power were like, we should not give our people money to live. We don't want them to go outside and protest. They want us alienated and exhausted. Also, AI is a very antisocial technology, and I'm also reading a book. Let me see if I can open my Libby on the computer. I read a lot of nonfiction. What? What did I have that on hold? That's not what I was currently reading. Do I have a second account? Okay, well, I've been reading user-friendly, but maybe I have like two different accounts for the library. I don't know. Um, but this book just recently went over like the Disney smart band thing and then some of the examples of like I shouldn't go to the Amazon page. Some of the examples of like you can put in your order for food and you sit down and you don't have to like interact with the wait staff except they like come bring you your food afterwards, but it all seems like magic and you don't have to talk to people and it's just like why are we being so antisocial? I know we've been hyper individualized in this culture, but it's even more now. It's like we want to have people interact with other people less and less, or very much separate even more so, like the serving class and the quote unquote middle class, maybe the people who can afford to go on vacations to like a place like Disney or whatever. This is AI can do college level work. Can it? Can it do work? The need for AI detectors seems at least a partial indictment of faculty's ability to discern quality or inability or whatever. I'm like, okay, but also we're overworked. And then with like the push for more and more efficiency, we don't have the time to really like properly. The reason why we have standardized tests is because we don't have time to like properly assess, let's say 120 students per semester one-on-one. And so everything is always about more efficiency, rather than maybe we should just hire more people and then lessen the workload that way. It's never let's hire more people and lessen the individual workload. It's all how do we make the small amount of people we have who are already overworked, how do we make them more efficient so we can continue squeezing them more? Like my job, I'm trying to teach, I'm trying to advise students, but then you have some level of like work you need to do to try to weed out cheating, which is not really my priority at all. Like I want to focus on the students who are actually there in good faith to like learn something and try to design courses so they don't feel like they need to cheat in order to succeed. But there's always going to be people who just don't really want to be there and just kind of want to do things the easy way. And it's like a trade-off of how much time do I invest in the students who want to be here and learn versus how much do I want to invest in preventing the bad faith. Like, you know, maybe someone's just like, I need a degree for a job, which, yeah, fair. That's kind of what we've made college into, a gatekeeping mechanism for a higher salary. But, or my parents are making me go to college or something like that. Like, you know, how much effort do I put on any given thing? And now with AI being even like easier, especially for like lower level programming classes where you really just have a very tight scope of thing to implement, it's very easy to feed a small program into a chatbot to get some code out that works. But once you get into the more complex things, then you like can't rely on that as much. I don't know. That's, you know, on everyone's mind of like, am I just grading bullshit? Am I grading stuff that just a bot did? Which is why I really just grade my labs as like yes or no. You did it or you didn't. Kind of like you would get math homework every week and then they kind of just grade it based on it looks like you did math or not, rather than going through every freaking problem to go through it. I did have other systems in place and I did put a lot more emphasis on labs before AI, but now I kind of put more emphasis on the big projects. So like with the big projects I have, it's like a big shared code base. This semester it's face-based, like a fake Facebook, and have students working together and taking tickets and making merge requests and code reviewing each other and trying to do best practices and follow along with a style guideline. So We can't maintain that both human quality is always superior to AI, and that, too, we can't tell the difference. How much of the fear around AI cheating is really a fear that we can no longer identify human work anymore? How do you define quality? It just looks nice and shiny. The facade is convincing. Does that mean the underlying quality of work is moot? And also, we're overworked. Rather than banning AI, let's just ban all C work. So, AI grading can be more consistent than human graders. Not if it's an LLM. If it's like a Scantron, sure, I guess. But higher education has been searching for ways to automate grading for years. Or you could hire more teachers and give us smaller loads. But no, we have to have this weird rule that full-time work is 40 hours plus a week. You can work more than 40 hours a week, and that's still full-time. And if you're salaried, then that doesn't mean anything to us. But you work 1 hour, 2 hours under 40 hours a week, you are gaming the system. How dare you? How dare you not work fairly and all your other coworkers are working 40 plus hours a week? And so, again, more like your human feedback matters enormously to students, but you also have biases. What would complement your feedback? Stop acting like the algorithms are like biasless. Also, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I did ask a bot to generate a UML diagram for me, so I did this. We got, like, at a glance, it looks like a UML diagram. Here we have Euler ID, which is a primary key. We have 2 like models. We have inconsistent styles of naming. Create capital L liker, create capital P post, created underscore at, lowercase. Add friend, addressee. How are these related? Post author's friendship. Create post and create post. Also, these have no parameters in the functions. Create plural list. Members. Add fessage. Add prawn group. Mati pruin to grout. Add mort. And then 2 created ats. 1 is a time and 1 is who knows. Comment receives page. Page receives comment. User friendships friendship. Friendship's message. So at a glance at a glance it looks like a diagram, but when you actually look closely at anything. And then I also just linked to other articles of, we've heard the things of people thinking they're coming up with math breakthroughs, but it was just AI kind of going along with things over and over. And video games are effective in part because technology allows each individual to be tutored at exactly the right level of difficulty. I mean, that's actually, I do design my classes. Oh, I don't know, Yell. Walk to Yell. She wants me to flood her garden. So I do take a very video game kind of approach, or at least I try to when I design classes. So, and I don't know. You have to think of I'm not going to do a diagram. In the newbie area, you're kind of told what to do for a practice thing, oh, go hit this dummy and then I'll give you a little treasure and then you can go on to the next little thing. Not every video game is good, but here, enter subdivision. I just need to go water some plants really fast. Someone else should be a magi. Walk to Yo. What's your coordinates? I think she's northeast. Oh, follow Yo. And then we will walk, and I will flood the garden. Cast flood. Oop, cast flood. Yay. Oh, nope, no, not auto attack. Oops. bad, bad reflexes. Sorry. Just cast flood. Oh, also you hit equilibrium, time to auto attack. um I need to fix that. I just haven't spent a lot of time on the code. Nice. Okay. But yeah. And then I also linked to a bunch of stuff. But I'm not done reading this book yet. Um I put this quote in here. There are other people who keep saying that human code can also be bad too. And I truly cannot get this across the depth of no, not as bad as this. No human code has ever been as bad as this. The AI invents entirely new ways of being bad at a scale that no human could ever approach. So, but I have a lot of, again, I have this like Zotero. I need to clean this up, and I don't know if I can, share my citation CRM, citation, wait, CMS, content management system, citation management system. But I need to clean it up because what, again, I was originally wanting to do is more talk about software is political in like how software can lead, or like bad design in general, bad engineering, not prepping things properly, can lead to people dying. And like in here in the Kansas City area, there's the infamous like hotel that collapsed because there of an engineering error, like a last minute change to some engineering, and then like the walkways collapsed and like a bunch of people died. And then, you know, you get your Theric 25 story and a lot of other thing like that. But also like how bias is baked into a lot of stuff, algorithms and stuff. So that would be like the weapons of math destruction. I have a lot of books, but my books are all over the house. Weapons of math. I can't do images. Weapons of math destruction. What? It's like, I won't show you weapons of mass destruction. I'm like, no, math destruction. A lot of articles on things. AI generated work slop is destroying productivity. So I wish I could like share this publicly. I don't know if I can. And just trying to talk to the non-technical teachers and such about technology in general and how software is political, because again, I was in a discussion with other people and they're like, it's just software, and I'm like, it's not just software. You know, like there's been so much of like Microsoft like antitrust things throughout the 90s. Let's just put Microsoft Internet Explorer lawsuits or whatever. Facebook, I have so many articles on like things Facebook slash Meta's done and ways that even they have like led to deaths. So again, this isn't a talk that I would need to give until August, but it might be helpful if I, for myself, if I pre-plan it. But now I'm kind of like, my brain is in a different gear, and with like the ADHD brain, it's hard to like switch gears. A lot of inertia. So I'm kind of just in general planning mode. Let's see. So I'm almost done with the semester. I'm not quite done. I need to finish a report today. I need to grade stuff. I need to get things taken care of. Also, Canvas got hacked on Thursday and the page went down, and there's like a ransomware attack. So that's fun. um, information security, hacking, exploits, etc. But beyond that, let's create a projects folder. I haven't really worked on any projects so far this year. Oops. So maybe I'll also just brainstorm projects. Thinking about software as political, and then also like presentation. And then summer is coming. What do I work on? Let's see. Game development. Christmas horse. Beach episode. I am in June teaching more kids game dev and coding classes, so I'll try to put those in a form where I can share them on YouTube or just online in general. So that's been like learning Tick 80, or I have to look at what my stuff was last time. Creative coding. Using pencil code, so like a logo, turtle graphics sort of thing. Using some basic Python to do graphics and even like work with like a little map API in Tick 80 for Python or for Lua. But I did this last year, and then now I can kind of make it better this year. Turtle. I did try teaching kids some basic. They did a little bit with like Mad Libs, math of computers. I also did a activity for kids. Here, actually, let me open this up. I think it's under the little activity we did for kids. I've like lost all my windows. Oop, I don't know if anyone was talking. Okay, no, we're good. They had a little booklet where they could draw out their characters, and then the volunteer at the computer would basically write things out. So they would draw like a 5x5 pixel guy and like set a color and then set a name. A, B, A, B, A. And then they'd hit create, or the volunteer would hit create, and then they'd show up on the screen, and then the kid could get their picture taken. Like we'd have projected screens around the room. And just as a way to kind of like show you can represent images with binary and colors with binary and names. I didn't make them use binary, but with numbers. So we did that as a little activity, and that was for like mostly small kids, and then they would get help with stuff. So that was cute. See, if I just had more time and I wasn't spending so much time on like the extraneous and administrative parts of teaching, I can make so many really, really cool things. This I just made like last minute because the event was earlier in the month than I had anticipated. So I was gonna make them all like animated and move around, but I couldn't do that because I didn't have enough time. And I was offended when one parent asked if I used Claude code for it. I'm like, no, I wrote it in JavaScript by myself. Like, that's all it is. I wrote all of this on my own, referring to documentation. So, anyway. But June, I'm going to be pretty busy with that. July, I'll have a lot of time off. May, I'll have a little bit of time off. July, and then August will be prepping before school. I mean, I'll be prepping for school throughout the entire summer anyway, but it'll be a bit more of the main focus. And I haven't worked on any games in a while. I haven't worked on stuff like I have a cross-platform engine I was working on, but I just haven't gone any further with it. I have like a command line based program thing I was working on. Do I have screenshots? Well, I had a lot of cool, cute things. But I haven't done anything with those. So command line game development. I had my Omelette engine, which is cross-platform for PC and Playdate. So Omelette engine, Playdate C development. Christmas Horse Beach episode. I wanted to make like an open source alternative to KidPix, but I just never kind of got around to it. Maybe an open source version of Storybook Weaver, also never got around to it. It's just hard to do stuff, especially like when you get interrupted periodically. Like, the semester is like a wave. Sometimes it's more intensive than other times. And then this will be developed more because this is from like last year when I was doing the lessons for kids, so I can like create that better. Right now it's currently just like a PDF, I think. So I just written with Emacs and org mode, and then it goes through the different like little lessons and stuff, so it was a reference page. But I could improve on that. I've thought of doing more work on just like Creative Commons assets. I have a page of Creative Commons art, and I can do music and UI and fonts and stuff. That's my cross-platform engine. That's my one Playdate game that I've released. And like example code and stuff. And I'm so behind. I think they're starting like season 3 of the Playdate now, and I just feel like I've been so busy with work, and then when I'm not working, I basically just play Achaea because it's like it's engaging but also easy to get into, and then I just haven't had like the brain power for any other coding stuff. I have thought of making a little like Mudlet package where you can just like play solitaire on the side. Something. Or like the dinosaur Chrome game, but I haven't done that. Maybe working on more visual novels. Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like I have to keep my projects really small because I won't be able to like one, I will forget large projects. And two, there'll just be so many interruptions. It's like physically hard or difficult for me to rebuild momentum after time away from something, and then that feels bad. That like physically feels bad to be like, I know I did something with this thing, but now I have to relearn what I was doing. I have to relearn my code base. So that's why I don't have like, I'm not the type of person who can do like a multi-year project generally. I mean, this took a while, but it was a bunch of mini games, so you like complete one mini game in like 2 months, and then maybe you're like, oh, I'll go add some more mini games. So like doing mini game format was pretty nice and a lot of like experimentation, so that was very novel. Like how do I make a parallax scrolling like first-person game. Um, how do I port Finn and Kit? How do I get like a tile-based map working? Hence, this is actually a image, and I just exported the collision areas, but it's a single image and not a bunch of tiles being rendered. How do I use the crank, the analog crank, in a unique, interesting way? But it's like, to get the inspiration, I have to have the free time and space, free mental energy time, space thing to be able to brainstorm and have that thinking. And like during the semester, it's just very hard to do anything like that. And it's, I used, like, when I was younger, I would be very much more inspired. Like, I'd get excited about ideas. I don't really feel excited about ideas as much anymore. I'll be like, oh, this is, while I'm working on it, I might get excited, but like the preemptive excitement just doesn't really happen. And maybe that's just from extra experience versus when I was younger. Like, maybe it was just like, wouldn't it be cool to do all this stuff? And then I was like, who cares? I don't know. Um, but yeah, let's see. I've been streaming for a little bit. I feel like I should have an outro, like we play a little video game or something. Actually, do I have? I don't have a free cell installed. I need some free cell. I play a lot of free cell. I play a lot of free cell on my phone. No thanks. I don't want to log in. Actually, I want the game to be full screen. I don't want this side widget on the side. Why is that there? There we go. Okay. Free cell. Boop. Let's see, we got aces here and there, and I don't have a good place for this 3 at the moment, but we'll go ahead and grab that. Am I allowed to undo? How far can I undo? Okay, that's good. There's an ace there. That's not that deep. Where's the 10? Where's a red 10? It's all the way over there. Where's a queen? Can put that over there. 3. There's a 10 also. We can move the 9 over. There's the 2. I don't have as many extra spaces in this version of the game that I do in, like, the mobile version I play. 4, 5, 3. Oh, yeah, 3. Also, this version, yeah, it doesn't let you drag a bunch of cards. 9, 10, 6, 7, 6, 7. Oh, other way around. 10, 9. I could build that if I could get to the queen, and then I could get that heart. But where's a blackjack? That's all the way up here. Okay, the last ace is up here. It's kind of out of the way. 5. Can I move this over? Yeah. I don't see 4s right there. Yeah, I guess this probably isn't very exciting. I just play a lot of free cell. Everything is buried. That's the diamonds. I want this guy right here. But I won't be able to move this stack because it won't let me do that because it's too big. I could move that back over. Can I do a stack of 2? I can. 9. Here, let's move this 3. If I move this into the pool, I won't be able to do anything with it, though. I won't be able to move the multiple thingies. 4, 3. This is just a game of sorting a bunch of numbers. Now I have these kings blocking me, so I should probably undo what I did. I don't want both of those kings in my stuff. 9. Let's just focus on getting these out of here. We have a jack. We have that jack also. I just need a queen. I got a queen there. Okay. 9, 8, 7, ace. Can drill down, but now I have this extra king again. But if I can get this 2, I can free this one up a little bit. 4, 3, 3. We got a 2 over there. I don't have a place for this. Well, I have 6, 7 as well here. But where's an 8? There's an 8. What's the easiest 2 to get to? We have this king. Move that one over. Leave that there for now. 9. 3. And that can go, well, it can go in either of the spots. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm getting messaged again in IKEA. Who's still online? Well, I could also pull that out if I need to, but let's go ahead and what do I do with this? 6. That one, that column's fine. Grab that 10, but I can't really right now. Well, okay. Maybe I'll play my game for a little bit in IKEA because people are talking to me again. People tried to talk to me so much and I've been rambling about AI. I probably need to undo again so I don't have these royalty sitting in my blob right here. I hate them. I hate you guys. I hate the monarchy. Get out of here. I mean, this one wasn't too bad just because I had the ability to kind of rebuild that one. But okay. Okay, this guy's talking about eating turtles. Okay, I'm done with this. We're done streaming. This is a long time of rambling, so I don't know if that was productive at all, but I did my weekend stream. I do want to do weekend streams again to try to keep me on task for getting something done. I don't know. Okay, bye. Where's my stop button? Stop.